Welcome to SIK Baggers YouTube channel. I'm Steve. Got some brand new parts for you for the 2024. We're going to be installing all this stuff here on this table on the bike that's up on the lift. Now, if you have a 23 CVO or a 24, you'll know that they changed quite a few things on that bike, and that includes a lot of the stuff that's on this table right here. We're fortunate enough to have Ciro 3D's full line of Chicane products here on the table, and today I'm going to be walking you through how to install each one of those on your bike. This is definitely something you could do at home. There's no need to take this to a dealership or an indie shop to do any of this. A few simple tools and we can get all of this installed on the bike, and I'm going to show you how to do it. But like always, all the stuff that's here on the table that we're installing today will have links down in the description that you can click on. It'll take you straight to that product. Now, in the 2024 Road Glide over there, it's all blacked out, so we've got the black products today. If you haven't already, check out the Ciro 3D playlist because we've done a ton of parts. We've got the 14 Street Glide over here, the 15 Road Glide back over there that has a ton of the Ciro 3D parts on them. Loved all of them so far. Absolutely, have no doubt that I'm going to love these as well. I really like the fact that they came out with a full line right out of the gate, because a lot of the times you can find the floorboards and then you can't find the matching pegs or you can't find matching grips, and with this line they've covered everything for the 24. So starting over here on this side of the table, we do have the driver floorboards, we got the grips, and we have the little grip wing. It's a little wing that goes on the outside edge of the grip for your palm. You don't have to get that. That is a separate purchase, but it does go with that. We've of course got the brake pedal, we got the heel and the toe shifter, and we also have pegs here. Now, these can be used as passenger floorboards and or highway pegs, so you can actually purchase two sets of these and do your passenger floorboards and your highway pegs with that as well. They are making the frame mounted highway pegs like we put on the 14 Street Glide here. I absolutely love those on that bike, so super excited to get these on the 24. The peg mounts, the highway peg mounts, come out from the bottom frame of the floorboard and come up to the side instead of hanging off your engine guard. But for now, we're going to get all of this stuff installed on the bike. It's one of the things that I preach in a lot of my videos too, is coming up with an idea in your head. So maybe you just bought a brand new bike, or maybe you bought a brand new bike to you and you want to make it more you, right? So you start changing little things on your bike. Get a game plan in your head. And at the end of the day, this is what I want the bike to look like. That way, you don't have this mosh posh of parts, some black floorboards and some contrast cut covers and some chrome over here. Everything matches at the end of the day, and that's what's cool about the Chicane line as well, is that they've taken the time to come out with this whole line at the same time where you can change everything on the bike and everything matches. So the first thing we need to do to get rid of this garbage is change it with the Chicane driver floorboard. I'm gonna get it up here on camera here so you can see it. Nice rubber all the way across it. Got a nice design to the whole thing. Flip it over to the backside, something cool on the backside too. You got adjustable mounts and they're gonna come default right in the middle. It's a pretty cool option that they've added. And of course on the backside, they're gonna be marked left and right. You can't really mess this up, because if you put it on this way, it doesn't go that way, it goes this way. So let's get our tools over here, get this garbage off, and get the new Chicane line floorboards put on. So if we get over here and we flip up our floorboard, we'll see we've got a nut and a bolt right here. They're just super easy to change. We've got a 3/16 Allen on this side, and I believe it's a 7/16. Let me check. Yep, still 7/16. So we're gonna start by taking this bolt out, flip it around, do the front. Go ahead and pop your bolt out. Got the bolt out back here. Pull this off, you're done. Get that thing out of the way. Set this right back up into place. Use the hardware that you took out. One from the rear to the front. One on the front goes from the front to the rear. Same way you took it off, just like that. After we put the bolt through, we're going to add a little dab of blue Loctite on those bolts. Just takes a little bit. If you don't own blue Loctite and you own a Harley, you're doing it wrong. So make sure those two things are best friends. Now we come to this side of the bike and quickly figure out that we can't get our Milwaukee ratchet in there because of the engine guard. So we got to do this the old school way, which sucks, because you guys know how much I love my Milwaukee ratchet. I'm not sponsored by Milwaukee either, but if anybody from Milwaukee's watching, holler at your boy. And we can't even get a regular ratchet in there, so we're gonna go super Neanderthal and get out an Allen wrench. So get that on there. Maybe we can use the ratcheting side on this, yes, to get this off. So, lose a whole ton of time. This one off, take that out, take that out. I'm gonna slide this one right back into place. The front one goes from the front back. Back one goes from the back forward. So that way your nuts are on the inside. Now that we got our bolts in, once again, little touch of Loctite. Snug that down. Make sure that they can move, and they're on. Now while we're over here, we're going to go ahead and change the brake pedal out because it's literally right here. But this is the Chicane brake pedal, and I didn't mention it on the floorboards, but like always, everything that they sell comes with complete detailed colored instructions on how to do it. And it usually comes with a fun dip pack too. I'm just kidding, don't eat this. And it literally says right there, don't eat it. On the back side of the brake pedal, you got a 1/2 inch nut right here. This is super easy to change. We're going to go ahead and bust this loose. Got that washer and then your pad. Same thing on this. You're going to lay this where this goes in the hole on the brake pad. So it's just a pad cover like that. Then you've got a flat washer and a split washer. First thing that goes on your bolt is the split washer and then your flat washer. No Loctite on this because it does have a split washer on it. So that's going to act like your Loctite. And actually has the same 7/16 head on it. So that's amazing. Unlike Harley Davidson that wants to change the size of every freaking bolt that's on the bike, this one actually is the same size that you used right there on your floorboard. So 3/16, 7/16, I can't remember. Anyway, that's installed. Now let's move to the other side of the bike and let's do our shifter pegs. So now we've moved over here to do the heel and toe shifter. Now the 2024s do not come with a heel shifter, and I know everybody has a mixed bag of emotions when it comes to heel and toe shifter. I've fell in love with the heel shifter years ago. Absolutely love it. I've used it for so long that we took this bike out Sunday and I can't count how many times I stomped this back of this floorboard trying to find that heel shifter because I'm so used to shifting that way rather than sticking my toe underneath this and lifting up. So with that being said, on the 2024, if you want the heel shifter, you have to order the heel shifter lever separately because it no longer comes on the bike. And that part number is going to be 336-00345. That's the Harley Davidson part number, 336-00345. And it's right at 60 bucks at the time shooting of this video. Luckily for me, I have a bunch of them laying around because I've changed my shift levers on almost every bike. So I had a black one back there. The only difference is this spacer right here. When you only have a front shifter, you've got a longer rubber spacer that's in here, and it is just a piece of rubber. Order a new shift lever, you'll get a shorter spacer because it doesn't need that long one anymore, because this is actually going to go on a little bit different. Luckily for us, it is just a piece of rubber, so I'm just going to mark it and cut it the exact length that I need it. And like I said, the Chicane line is a complete line, so you do have the toe shifter and the heel shifter separately. So maybe you just want one or you want both. We're going to be installing both. Now your shifter bolt right here is going to be a 1/4 inch Allen. Your toe shifter is going to be your longer one, and your shorter one is going to be your heel shifter. Now the bolt that comes with it is a 1/4 inch as well, but it does have a split washer on it, so we don't need blue Loctite. Can you add blue Loctite? Absolutely. Now because this bolt feeds way down in there, see we dropped it in there and it comes out that back side, we're going to use an Allen wrench on this. It's going to be 1/4 inch on that as well. We're going to go ahead and get that started. We're going to just angle it the way that we want it right there. Now that we got that one mounted, we're going to go ahead and take it off so we can add our heel shifter on there. It's going to be 1/4 inch again. Nut on the bottom. We're going to pull that bolt out. And then you can just simply slide this off. We're going to take our spacer out for right now, and we're going to mount everything up, and then I'll lay the spacer back up there, mark it, and cut it. Because this shift lever is splined and the inside of this is splined, you can put this in several different positions. Of course, you can put it all the way up there if you wanted to, but I don't recommend it. You can also put it way down here. And the problem with that is when you go to shift, a lot of times you're going to be smacking your floorboard. So make sure that you have adequate space between your shifter and your floorboard, that when you push up or if you need to get under it with your foot, that you got plenty of room to get under it. So if you want to take a picture of the way it was before you pulled it off, you can do that as well. But we're going to pull it up. It's fine teeth, so it's got quite a bit of adjustments on it. We're going to push that one all the way to the inside. We're going to take our heel shifter and make sure that this goes back and then out away from the bike and back. And that's how you clear the outer primary cover right here when you put this on. So we're going to make sure that this is all on. Hold the back side, put that in place where we want it. Now on the shift lever, you'll see that this is splined right here, but it also has these grooves. That's where your bolt goes in these grooves. It's very important that you get these on right in the correct position. You want them correct this way, so that looks good to us. But then you will take your bolt, and you want that bolt to go through that hole. It's going to slide right down in the edge of that groove like that, and then tighten down. So if you've got it a little bit too far over and you put the bolt in, you're actually tightening it down on this spline. So, and you'll eventually strip that. So you want to make sure that it's pushed all the way over into place. So that's how you make sure that that's lined up correctly on that. And that leaves our rear one, which we'll do the same to. We're going to put it about right there. We push it over, we look in, we make sure that that hole is lined up with that slot, and that's where our other bolt goes in, right? So now that we have it in place exactly where we want it, and I don't have that spacer, I want to take my spacer. So I want to take that front one off because we only need the rear one on to make sure that it's in the right spot. So once I know that that bolt is over that slot and in the right position, I'll lay my rubber spacer back up in there, I'll butt it up against this, and we're looking at marking it right there where that where the inner primary comes up. So roughly in that area right there. Now what I use to cut one of these is just a PVC cutter like this. Super easy, super cheap tool. Where we're going to line this up. You could use a knife, or you could use a pair of scissors, it doesn't matter. This is just going to give us a nice clean straight line. So I'm going to line that up with that line right there. And I'm just going to go ahead and go through it just like that. Now we have the correct size spacer. So we're going to take this back out, pull this off. We're going to put our spacer on. We're going to test it. Hold this in, put this about where we want it, like that. Take our rear one, we're going to set it in place. Just like that. Now we're ready to put it back together. Get our chicane rear shift peg, put our bolt through it, get it tightened down. Now that it's installed, we want to double check the front and the rear, so when we shift, we're not interfering with anything. And then the rear, coming awfully close to the floorboard, but we're not touching, so we're good back there. Now, those are installed. So the next thing we're going to do is change our rear pegs over to the Ciro Chicane footrest. On your pin back here, you got a little C-clip that has to be spread apart to get that pin out. Get yourself a little pair of pliers like this, little channel lock ones. Don't cheap out on these and get the Harbor Freight ones because they're horrible. Get you a nice set like this when you're doing these jobs. Now I'm going to have to get my big noggin in the way and get over here and get this off, but I'll show you what it looks like as soon as I get it off. And I absolutely despise those things. Most of the time they go zinging across the garage. So make sure to hang on to that when you get ready to take that out. We're going to push our pin forward, pull that pin out. Now we still have a stop in here, this little guy right here. This flat side is going to go up against the clevis inside there, and then the curve is also going to go towards the outer edge. You don't want it curved in like this towards the foot peg, but you want it curved out. So here's the footrest here up on camera so you can see a little bit closer view of this. Now this longer side right here is going to go towards the front of the bike, so this is going to be the left side here. Now these are adjustable too. You can see the teeth that are in there, so you can adjust these however you want them. This back one actually kind of sets at an angle, so you kind of want to set it in there first. And I like mine tilted back just a little bit. I don't like it perfectly flat, so the passenger feels like they can push on something and their foot's not just going to slide off the top. So once again, I'm going to put my Allen wrench in here. We're going to stick our screwdriver through here to get that really tight. Now when you slide this in, remember the flat side to the footrest arc goes to the edge, the outside edge. It doesn't go to the inside. Put that up against that edge right there, slide that into place. Take that long screwdriver and make sure to get all my holes lined up just like that. We're going to hold that in there. We're going to put our pin in from the front. I'm going to take my pliers here and set those into the needles as far as I can. Go ahead and spread that apart and get that back on there. just like that. So all I'm going to do is cut the camera, repeat the process on the other side. We're going to lower the bike down and I'll show you how to do those grips. So now we got the grip, and I've got the left hand side grip here. Just want to get it on camera so you can see it. Matches the entire design of the Chicane line. And one thing with the 2024s is they've actually made these really easy to change, and I'm going to walk you through how to do that, because the other stuff was easy, but so are these. Now the switch housing on this has changed on the 23 CVOs and the 24s. They're much larger, a few more buttons, but they got the same two perch mount bolts right there. So we're going to remove those first. This is going to be a Torx 27. Make sure you got a hold of the back side of this when you do it. Now the front, now we can separate the back. On the back side of this, there is a wire, so be careful not to pull this too far. Right here at the bottom, it's just a little pinch clip, so you're going to pinch that and unplug it, and then you can just let this set to the side. Now on the back side right here, you got a Torx 25 here and here. We're going to go ahead and take those out. And then we can split the front and the rear. And then when we have those loose, we can split the front and the rear. Just like that. So all we have to do really is just kind of pry on that outer edge right there, and you can pull that old grip off just like that. You're going to take your new grip and you're going to look at the notches that are on the end right here. You've got a big one and a small one. And if you look inside here, you'll see the big tooth, and then the back side of the cover, you'll see the small tooth. So you'll know exactly how this has to go back on. So that small tooth is going to go to the back, and the big tooth will go to the front. So you can do the same thing without taking all of this off. We're going to tap this on into place. We're going to pull this back over where it's supposed to go without pulling all of that apart. Now we can hold this into place where it's supposed to go, and then we can turn the grip until that tooth falls into place. You can do the same thing on the back. When you slide this back on, you can kind of feel that tooth right there. It's lined up, so you'll know how this grip goes back on. So we're going to make sure our wires are out of the way. We're going to go ahead and put this back into place. I'm going to come over here so I can see what I'm doing, but we have this wire right here. This has to come out and go right through here, so make sure that that's pulled up into place. You're going to slide that on over your high beam switch. We're going to go ahead and get these started. Switch back over to the Torx 27 for our rear. So we're going to bring the rear perch back up. We're going to make sure that this is in place. We're going to get this in place. We'll plug it in last. Go ahead and get our front bolt started. Go ahead and plug this one back in. Listen for the click. And now we're done with this side. So on this side, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to take these two out, get our perch out of the way. Go ahead and let our perch come down. Unplug that back side. The back side screw off. Go ahead and release the back. So you got two switches right here. This is going to be for your heated grips now, so that's very easy to do if you do have heated grips, which these do not come heated. So, but if you're wondering what that tab was for, that's what that's for. We're going to take a small screwdriver. We're going to push that in and unplug this one. We're going to get it out of the way. We're going to do the same down here. So we're going to take a small screwdriver. We're going to get down in here. Release this tab. Pulling up at the same time. We're going to get that one unplugged. Now we have our wires disconnected from our switch housing. We can pull this whole thing off in a hole. So on the back side of this, you can see with aftermarket handlebars, we've actually trimmed off this little tab right here. This used to have a little nipple on it, and that went into this hole. But with these style aftermarket bars, you don't have that. With the stock bars, you will have that slot for that hole. But we are going to just lift this up and pull this out. And you can see all of this is different than the older models, because now your throttle position sensor is in here and not in the end of your handlebars. So that's one thing that Harley's made super easy to do now. We can take this new grip, and you can see the two teeth on it here, and then you got this big hole back here and a small hole here. That small hole is going to glide right inside there. So we're going to make sure that that is that way. We're going to set this in an angle just like we took it out. All right, so now You can see how that works. There's two big teeth, grab the throttle position sensor, and it guides in that little tooth right there. So the big hole would have been for that nipple, which we no longer have. We can go ahead and put this back on the bike, just like that. Make sure it's pushed all the way in. Now before we close that, we want to go ahead and plug this back in. If you got big fingers like me, there's not a whole lot of wire there to grab. I use a pair of needle nose to just kind of guide this back into place, keep it straight where I need it, and then I can push it straight down. And then we're going to take this, we're going to plug it, and we're going to pull it back around here. We're going to plug it back in. Now we can flip this up, back into place, click that in. Make sure that this wire comes out that side hole once again. We're going to put this back together. I'm going to bring our perch back up into place. Make sure that wire's out of the way. We don't want to pinch that wire when we put this back on. I'm going to go ahead and start these by hand. Make sure you plug this back in. After you get everything put back together, make sure that you check your throttle snap. So you have snap forward that kills your cruise control, and you have snap back for your throttle. Now if you want to add the little throttle wing, it's very easy to do. We're actually just going to use the set screw that's in the inside of this grip. This is going to mount here just like this. So we're going to take a 5/32 Allen. We're going to hold this and bust this screw loose. I'm going to take that end cap off, and we're going to put this right back on in its place. And you can see on the back side of this, once again, little holes, little teeth on here. So you can set this wherever you want. Just remember, it kind of lets you use your palm. So if you put it way down and then you're throttling, you're way past kind of where your palm goes, and your wrist is going to be kind of goofy. So that's the importance of go ahead and setting that where you want it. We're going to put it just a little bit right on that black bar, basically on the inside. I'll step in, put my hand on it, and now you can see I can throttle almost all the way full throttle, and when I'm in the idle position, my palm is just kind of setting on it, kind of right in that black line. So we'll go ahead and torque this down. So there you have it. Super easy to do the whole chicane line from Ciro 3D. So if you're doing this at home and you're not shooting a video like I was, if I just had to come out here and put this stuff on this bike, you're looking at probably about 30 to 40 minutes, and that's taking my time to make sure everything gets put on correctly. Like I said, in a future video, we will be doing the frame mounted highway pegs. We do have those for the older model over on the 14th Street Glide. Absolutely love those. But for the 23 CVO and the 24, we're still waiting on those. I absolutely love the way that this kit looks on this bike. It actually fits the lines of the bike, so that's pretty cool. That all of the links to all of this stuff that I put on today will be down in the description down below. Click it, take you straight over to Ciro 3D, right to the exact part that you're looking for. I hope this video helped you, and if it did, don't forget to hit that like, hit that subscribe, tell your friends about us. That's what keeps us coming out here to the shop and keep making these videos for you. Check out the rest of the channel because we got over 150 bagger and Softail related videos. I'm gonna get out of here, get myself cleaned up. I hope to see you in the next video, but until then, as always, be safe, keep your knees in the breeze. Hey, thanks for stopping by and checking out our videos today. If you like what you see, make sure you hit that like button, hit the little subscribe button popping up over here. If you want to check out more of our content, I've got 2 videos right here that'll get you started. Not really gonna say anything else, just click one of those videos and take you to another video.